for clothes that Tristan lost. At Bold 3 Detergent Plus.
I need the remote. Where's the remote? What's on?
It's okay to indulge in a good TV series binge from time to time, as long as you do so mindfully.
Welcome to the Mindful Binge.
It's like a book club, just for TV people.
Join Alysse Bryson and Lane Kennedy, two sober West Coast besties who have never met in real life, as they recap TV shows and movies they love to binge mindfully.
This dynamic duo digs into shows and movies that feature addiction, mental illness, and recovery as a part of the leading storylines. Now let's get into this week's episode.
And just like that, we're back. My name is Alysse Bryson.
I'm Lane Kennedy.
And you are listening to the Mindful Binge. It's like a book club, but for TV people.
You
Lane,
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think
so ready.
We're talking about episode 5. So for those of you, you might be listening for the first time. We started this podcast because we love to watch TV and talk about it. And I'm learning from Lane how to be more mindful in my behaviors, mindfully binge TV versus, go off the grid for a week and nobody knows where I am binging. And so we really love to talk about TV shows and movies where addiction and mental illness and even recovery are part of the main storyline. So we decided we would start this first few episodes of this new amazing podcast talking about And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot.
But wait, we actually did start with Flack.
That's true. I mean, if you want to go all the way back.
Yeah, if we want to go all the way back. But
we've been doing this for a while. We just didn't record before. We went on Instagram Lives.
Yeah.
We held rooms
we did Clubhouse.
Right. And then we realized that the only people consistently showing up to that were you and me. And so, but so many people wanted to be part of the conversation, but different time zones, people's schedules, people are going back out into the world. Mm-hmm. So we needed to create a space where they could hear us whenever it was convenient for them. So here's another podcast.
The Mindful Binge podcast.
The Mindful Binge. So we're in episode 5 of And Just Like That, which is
Tragically hip.
Tragically hip. Which we are tragically hip. we are so hip. Our eyewear is on point today.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I forgot my little bandana, but
I've
got my favorite necklaces.
Mine's upside down.
My dogs are sleeping. How are your dogs? Are they good?
My dogs are sleeping. Thank God. It's a miracle.
All right.
Hopefully we can get through this.
Yeah, well, here we go. All right. So the scene opens up. Carrie and Seema are just entering her brownstone, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's not the first time Seema has been there.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. I can't remember.
But Carrie she kind of wobbles up the stairs like an old lady. She gets an umbrella to help her walk. Because they can't stop bashing us over the head with the fact that these women are in their mid 50s, and apparently everything goes sideways in your mid 50s.
Okay,
is that the case? Tell me.
Okay,
Jane. I mean, I'm knocking on the door of 50. I'm knocking.
But there is something that happens at 50. I will say that I was very I didn't believe it until I'm of that age. Correct. And things do start to go sideways. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
But there are some things that do occur, and as a woman in her 50s, it's a time to be more mindful of your body. And I think what Carrie is doing is appropriate, of getting the umbrella to aid herself in going up the stairs. Seema's laughter about it, I think, is on point, because some older, more mature women, it's harder. I don't know how to say that gracefully.
Maybe if Carrie would give up the heels, This will
Yes.
be
Oh my
quite,
God.
and I have to say, let's just stop right there for a minute,
Yeah.
because I remember back in my late 20s, my early 30s, where
yes.
I ran all over town in
Yes.
heels. Like
Every
if
day.
3 inches was flat, like I was a 3 to
Yes.
5 inches girl.
Yes.
Like if they had made platform sneakers, I would have worn them, right? Like because I'm short, so like it was the only way to like.
Are you short? How
I'm
tall are you?
5'4". I'm
Oh,
5'4".
okay.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like fun size, travel size, pocket size. Anyway, people had told me, "Oh, yeah, you're gonna give up your heels. You just wait." And I was like, "You are insane. I will wear these heels till the day I die."
No,
Girl,
no,
I haven't.
it's true.
I don't know the last time I wore heels.
I
Now,
know.
I think
Who wears
that
heels?
right. I think that the pandemic definitely like skyrocketed me into being heel less. I was already going there though before the pandemic. I was, but I've decided like sneakers, like I like high-end sneakers. Those are going to be my new look. It's going to be my look. It's going to be my aesthetic. So therefore I don't need the heels.
No more heels. Yeah. If Carrie gave up the heels and started wearing the Birkenstocks,
Or the
Crocs, right? Then she might not have this pain in her hips. And I do find that as we age, we do start to wear different shoes. It's just because of the aches and the pains.
I
honestly.
mean, let's be honest. As we age, we start to wear everything we put comfort first.
Yes, comfort. It's all about comfort.
If you're in your 20s, this doesn't make any sense to you. Move along. Like, but in my experience, the older I get, the more comfortable I want to be with my underwear, with my bras, and with my footwear.
Yep. Footwear is key.
Mm-hmm.
So her outfit in that opening scene is kind of grandma-esque.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
No, I didn't either. I love Seema's though. Let me tell you, Seema is on fire.
Seema and LTW can do no wrong. They can do no wrong.
They're so good. I love them so much. So we're in Carrie's house. We find out that she's got this hip problem, and suddenly Seema's calling her cousin or her brother or somebody in her family who's a hip surgeon.
Of course she is. She's connected.
Like, because she's so well connected. And the next scene we see is Carrie going to the hip doctor, finding out that she has something going on with her hip.
Like within an hour.
Yeah.
Within like an hour, because that's normal in New York.
And she already filled out the paperwork online.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing that it went that fast. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay.
No,
Hollywood.
It doesn't happen.
That's fine. I can play along when they have to fudge things like that. So yeah. So she finds out that she's not getting old. She has a birth defect, rare, some kind of hip birth defect that has always been there, but is just now giving her problems.
This is where I am curious how this all of a sudden showed up. Has she always had little issues in her hip, or is this something? Right.
I mean, I remember back in episode 1, like Big was rubbing on her hip. It is, and she's mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So, and then prior to that, we haven't seen her since the movies. So I think Carrie probably has had some hip problems going on for a while. Now that she doesn't have anybody to rub them out for her,
she's taking care of business.
That came out totally wrong. Yes. Okay. So now they're at lunch, and Carrie's talking with her friends about the fact that, hey, I'm not old. I just need hip surgery.
Which is kind of dramatic. That's hip surgery is not a fun, easy thing to go through. And
have you had hip surgery?
I have not, but I have had family members who have gone through this process and friends who have gone through this process. And it's not an easy, it's a little challenging, I have to say. And the amount of care that's needed for hip replacement or hip surgery is a lot. So I like that they are putting together a spreadsheet, I guess, of hours of when everyone's going to care for Carrie.
Okay, but let's talk about that a second. Let's just, they always have to show these people as a little outdated, not with the times. I can applaud that Charlotte made a spreadsheet and probably color coded it and all of that.
Yes.
But a spreadsheet is not like, it's not Google Sheets. It needs to be somewhere on the internet where everybody can access it and make notes to it, not in a document that you email. So that was like,
correct. I feel
like they could have picked better software, in my opinion.
They could have. They also bring up that this is a moment of celebration. So of course, Miranda wants champagne.
Oh, that's right. But I just want to say one thing before we get on
Yeah.
to Miranda and the champagne. Although I don't know, I can't remember if anybody in my life has had hip surgery. My mom had both of her knees replaced.
Oh,
And
pain.
she made the decision to do it both at the same time versus doing one, recovering, and doing the other one, because it was like, you're going to be miserable, just get it done with. And this happened before I got sober.
Okay.
And I would go and visit her. I was not living with her at the time, but I would go and visit her, and I would steal her pain pills.
Oh.
That was my only motivation for going and visiting her.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that, looking back, I remember it was a dark time for her. Like, she was stuck in bed. She had this machine that was like moving her knees back and forth, and that I couldn't show up for her. I couldn't be fully present. And my only motivation to go and visit her was to steal her oxy, and fortunately, thanks to living a life in recovery where I get to clean that kind of stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was able to make amends for that. Now, my mom's hopefully never going to need knee surgery again, but should she need any other surgery, number one, I'm going to show up and be there for her and be there honestly and authentically. And number two, I'm not going to steal her drugs.
Oh my God.
And, so, since this podcast is really talking about recovery and addiction and how it plays out in TV shows, I just kind of wanted to share that story because I was thinking about it, as we were prepping for this episode today.
Can you imagine if Charlotte all of a sudden was sneaking Carrie's pills, or Miranda was sneaking the pills? Right. That would be.
They could have written that in for Miranda. I mean, let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. They could have written that in to really expose addiction, but they didn't, which is fine. Yeah. They have a lot of issues that they're trying to really.
A whole lot that they're
trying to get every issue possible in these episodes, but we have that moment, that brief moment where Miranda wants to celebrate, and Charlotte is immediately. No, right? Like, she just shuts it. Yeah, she shuts it down.
Yeah, she's like not happy because she's concerned, and now Charlotte's already made the decision that there's a reason to be discouraged. Right? So she's like on high alert, and Carrie is still like, "Ugh, are we still talking about this?"
Right, and I think this is the next scene is Miranda opening the box with "Quit Like a Woman."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like almost horrified that who bought this, and she's totally freaked out. Her Brady's girlfriend walks in, and she's making it like obvious, like, I didn't buy this. No.
See, and I remember you and I talking about this episode before, and I misunderstood it. I really thought Charlotte was responsible for sending her the book.
No.
Do you remember? We had a fight on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? We made up. It's okay. But I thought that Charlotte had really been the one to send it to her, whereas you pointed out, and I went back and rewatched it just for this reason, because I had a hard time admitting I was wrong. But I did get there, and it was, she ordered it for herself during a blackout.
I mean, I have done that. I did that, I should say, many a times. Ordering.
Except you didn't order online. You had to like dial a 1-800 number, right?
Well, yeah, that 323-777.
Back in the day, that's how we did
back
it.
in the day.
We did online shopping was on the phone.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I had the guy delivering, in 20 minutes. It was awesome. So I understand looking at my credit card statement and my bank account and thinking, what? What just happened? Where'd all my money go? For, cigarettes and booze, craziness. So I relate to that.
Yeah. I spent a lot of money in blackouts, and I dropped a lot of money. I dropped money all the time. I had to have, unless I just gave it away. Who knows what I did? I have no idea.
Always money falling out of the pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't do that anymore. Thank God.
Occasionally, do you remember like pulling out an outfit from the back of your closet and finding money in the pocket?
Oh.
Now that was a good day because it was like
all
bonus booze, bonus drugs.
Loved that. I still hide money.
Really? Where do you hide it?
just all over. I'll find money in my jacket pockets now. And I'm just I get so excited about it. Reminds me of the good old days.
I'm
Yeah.
just not bad. I'm bad at carrying cash these days. I
Mm.
need to get better at that, but I'm not great at it. Okay. All right. We missed what about Charlotte and Rock? Did we jump over that part?
Oh, no, that's coming. That's next.
Okay,
We can talk about, we can jump into that because I think that's a really fired up scene. So let's do it.
Yeah, and you know,
Okay.
my son is 25, so I feel so far removed from parenting at
Okay.
this point.
So I think
So
this is
you
a
take
really,
lead on this because
Yep.
you know, how do you feel about it?
so I think they pushed the envelope a little too much. But this is how it's rolling out. I mean, kids are identifying how they want to, and they're making statements, and their parents are finding out about it later. Totally get that.
So the issue is that Rock told all of her friends and told all of her teachers, and everybody knew about it before
their teachers.
Yeah, before. Oh, sorry. Thank you, God. See how I'm just can't get there.
So Rock told, yes, their teachers, their friends, and then it was made public. And Charlotte found out because she was on that Zoom with all of the moms.
On the Zoom call in her perfect little apron.
Right.
I was
So
looking at all those
ridiculous.
moms and I was like, F you ladies. No, moms don't really have it together like that.
No.
Give me a break. Moms do not have it together like that. No.
And then that kind of kicked off this conversation with the school, right? Where Harry and Charlotte are sitting there with the administrators of the school, finding out like why it was okay for them not to contact them and talk and have a conversation about it. And this is where I think it gets a little sticky, that I would have liked to have gotten notified. And it just made me uncomfortable. This scene made me uncomfortable.
Okay, all right, I'll meet you there. But as a teacher or somebody working at this school, isn't it possible that they would have assumed that no. Rose already had a conversation with her parents about this?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Tell me why.
No, I don't think our teachers assume. I think they're always looking out for the kid. You know, I think
as they should be, because somebody's got to advocate for the kid.
Well, yeah, because
especially if they're in a troubled home, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's fair.
So I just would have liked it if they would have given notice, because I love when Harry's face is like, what is happening here? And then between Charlotte and Harry, as they're walking out, like, what just happened? You know, like it was like they were bullied a little bit. Like, this is the way it is. This is how it's going to happen, and get on board. You're behind the times.
Well, and with Harry, like I think his line of questioning is completely authentic in the sense of how do we know this is real versus not just a trend? Because let's be clear, like, kids love trends and they want to be cool and they want to do what everybody else is doing. But then there's also authenticity. So I think his line of questioning was pretty spot on. That's I think I as a parent would have had like, I can be on board with this as long as I know this is really what it is.
Right. It's not going to pass.
It's not just oh, we're all buying these sneakers this week, you know.
Right.
We all have to have that brand of denim.
Right. I guess it just shows that there's so many conversations that are not being had in the family unit, that are being looked over. And this is a good example of Charlotte's house, her little microcosm, her world, you know, the perfect family. They've got a lot of dynamics going on in there. And she means well, she is well-intentioned, but here she is finding out about Rock's gender identity through a Zoom meeting, right? Where there's like, what's happening here? What's going on? How come you all know and I don't know? And then she has to go talk to Rock about it, which she doesn't even know how to have that conversation. Then she's taking the dolls down because the dolls don't represent anymore.
Culturally inappropriate.
Right, because they're culturally inappropriate. It's like, how are we supposed to keep up with all of these? How do we keep up with it all? I don't know,
but those dolls were kind of creepy. I wouldn't want them in my room either. Just saying. Just
that was a really good. I think they did that well, as they could. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next scene is, where do we go after that?
I think where Carrie's in the hospital.
Oh God, yes.
Because there is a moment talking about pain pill addiction. Like there is that moment.
Yes.
Carrie's wearing pearls in the hospital, which is,
of course, she is
completely Carrie Bradshaw. Like completely. I should really be wearing pearls right now. I don't know why I'm not.
In honor of her homage. Yes. I think the comment comes about the pain pills after she gets home and she's kind of really loopy doopy, right? Mm-hmm. She does the podcast episode. In this episode, I think there's, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to help me go pee? So we see Charlotte helping her onto the toilet. And then we see this micro moment where Miranda is on the phone, Carrie's phone, and it's Che. And Che wants to check up on her.
And she's downstairs. She wants to come up. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, no.
And Miranda's all giddy, like, Che's there.
Right.
And
you just
Carrie's
see
like,
her.
F you. Get her out of here. I am not in a place to see anyone. Like, I can't even go to the toilet. Oh my gosh. It's so hard for me. So even though I totally get it, I can't muscles.
It's okay.
Old
It's
muscles.
okay. It's okay.
Thank you for
working
to remind me. We're gonna get through this together.
Yes.
Yes.
It's hard. I know.
It's just habit. It's not because I don't care.
No, I know. Trust me. I know.
Yeah.
If you don't want me to say anything, I won't.
No, I still want you to say things.
Okay.
Like keep saying it. You just might have to say it a lot. I don't, I wonder if it might be different if I was with, I wonder if it has to do with it's just you and me versus if Che was here right now, I might do better at saying they, them I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation very much.
Yeah.
But I'll just keep working on it.
Yeah. You just have to keep working on it. It's hard. It's not easy. So we
San Francisco, you're hipper than I am. You're ahead of the times.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Where are we?
Pain pills.
Carrie,
Shay.
Yeah. We see.
I love that Carrie set a boundary with Miranda and was like, "No, get rid of her. Like, get rid of her."
Yes. That was
because at that moment, here's Miranda and her addiction coming out. Miranda's only thinking about Miranda. She's not thinking about Carrie.
Miranda's only thinking. Yes.
That's an
Miranda's
addict move right there.
About the quick fix.
Self-centered to the extreme.
Yeah. So we see Carrie back at home now, right? And they all have their shifts, and it's Miranda's shift. Are we going to go there?
Yeah.
Right. So Miranda's shift to take care of Carrie, and Carrie's in bed sleeping.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And then she gets the episode. Phone call. Oh, yes, it is. We're going there.
Awkward.
And it's Che. And Che has a bottle of tequila.
I mean, as one does in the middle of the day.
Like what? And Miranda's so excited about that.
She's so excited on all levels, right?
So many
levels. All levels.
So crazy.
Carrie's asleep. Now, here's the thing. That apartment is tiny, right? It's not
like
big,
2 rooms, 3 rooms, right?
Big apartment. So So what? Does Carrie wake up and realize what's happening?
Yes. Well, she wakes up because she has to go pee.
Right.
And then you can see the mirror. The mirror's propped so you can see, but she hears the sounds that are occurring in the kitchen with Che and Miranda. It's really Miranda's. Of course
she does, because it's like one room. But here's the thing: if this was you and you just came out of a stupor, even if you're on a little bit of drugs because of your hip surgery, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't you be like, hello, what's going on? Like, wouldn't you say something, or would you lay there and just pretend like you're asleep?
So I think because she's on the pain pills, there's a little what's going on, and she has to go pee. She has to go pee. So I don't know about you, but when I have to go
Diet
pee,
Snapple bottle,
I'm like, I gotta go pee right now so badly, right? So I think there's some confusion, and how do I deal with my best friend, you know, having sex in my
with
kitchen
my boss,
with my boss.
in my kitchen.
In
That's
my
a lot.
kitchen.
That's a lot.
Like just watching this scene go down, I was like, what is happening here? I'm freaking out. Like, why is she not yelling? Why is she? I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Also, peeing in a Diet Snapple bottle, that is like, what kind of aim do you must you think you have to get it in? Like that doesn't. No,
you're peeing on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're peeing on the bed.
In this case, somehow she gets it in the bottle, but then she ends up spilling it on the bed.
Right.
Either way, pee ends up everywhere, and it's not a good day for Carrie.
Right. And Che like covers Miranda's mouth because she's being so loud. Just like, no, this is not happening.
Well, and then she pretty much hits it and quits it. Like she's out of there, right?
Yeah.
She's like, all right, I gotta go.
I'm done. Bye. That was nice.
That's how Miranda gets caught, basically, because then she goes into the bathroom to
and she's so giddy.
So giddy. Yeah. And then awkward friendship moments.
And then Carrie getting real. And I love this scene.
Good for Carrie.
I'm so all about how Carrie manages this and how she voices. I mean, here she is stoned out on her pain pills, and she still is like, no, that was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And Miranda's response is so self-centered. Like, what? Like, she's like, what? Like,
at first,
let's just clean the sheets. Let's just take care of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
At first, but then you see her crack, you see her break, and she's like, because I'm unhappy, like, I don't know. I think she cracks there a little bit. You see that underlying unhappiness, which is what's fueling all of this, right? Mm-hmm. That brokenness at her core is what's fueling the drinking. It's what's fueling these out of character decision makings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Carrie is just like, yeah, that's a you problem.
That's a mess up on layers.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would come back from that. Like if you came over here and you were taking care of me, and then I heard you with my boss, I'd be like, you got to go now. And I'm not talking to you until I get my head straight around this.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I would be, get the F out. Bye.
We need to take a little vacation from each other. I need a break.
Yeah.
That's a hard stop.
Yeah. Hard stop. I'll call you. Call you.
Right. Yeah. So there's something really, I don't know. Again, it just shows the depth of their relationship and their friendship and how they, no matter what, are sticking together. I think that's one of these moments that no matter what is coming at them, they are in it because they truly love each other. They truly are, partners in life.
Yeah. Yes. And because that is what this show is about. It is about long-term friendships. Yeah. And the reality of friendships are you do get mad at each other, right?
Yeah.
It's and you have to work through that. That's just the reality of it. Although for me, for a long time, and it's still, I have to still even work on it, is my knee-jerk reaction, especially before I got sober. If I got into a confrontational situation with a friend, I would just be like, well, I'll just go get another new friend.
Yeah. I don't need you.
I don't need you. I'll find somebody else to hang out with. I'll find somebody else. That was my MO. I can remember so many times my mom would be like, how come your group of friends is always changing? And I was like, I'm just really popular. She's like, well,
oh my God. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really popular. I like that. I have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Our next scene is Carrie with her beautiful eyewear that I need to have.
Her eyewear is so
eyewear. And her message to Samantha talking about the podcast that she did, talking about Samantha sticking her hand up her hoo-ha with the diaphragm.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
I think that's
Brilliant.
nice. I think that, I've said this before, but, not all friendships stay the same the whole time. And so, theirs has fallen, their friendship has moved on to a different state. Well, and Samantha's in a different country, and they're not talking to each other. Like, they don't check in on each other. It's not that kind of friendship anymore, but that doesn't mean they don't still care and honor each other for the time that they were close. And that's real. Like, I have people like that.
Yep,
you have
I
people
do too.
like that. That's real.
Yep. Yeah.
And nobody has to be at fault or wrong for that. It just is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our next scene is Miranda with her bottles of vodka and realizing that she indeed purchased Quit Like a Woman. Right? Because Amazon wants a review.
Another reminder I was wrong. Yes.
And then she's throwing out her beverages. It's so
Did you do that when you got sober? Did you dump all your booze?
I did.
I did. In a way, I couldn't be so wasteful.
Oh no. Well, I probably gave it away, but I do remember I had a bottle in my freezer, a vodka bottle, one of those big bottles,
like half gallons.
And that I did pour that one down. My bottles of wine I gave to people, to designers and whoever. But the hard stuff, bye.
I remember over the years, like, being in places where people would give me, after getting sober, people would give me any kind of bottle of booze. And I would just, like, the person giving it to me clearly doesn't know me well enough to know I don't drink. Right. So I would just smile and nod. And then as soon as, like, that person exited, I would just hand it to whoever was around me. Yeah. Everybody around me that I worked with knew. And they were just, they were excited because now they knew they were getting something free. But it was like, it became a very automatic, like, here you go. Like, without question. And which is just like a PSA reminder. Like, if you're gifting alcohol, make sure the receiver consumes it.
Correct.
Like, don't make assumptions.
Yeah. Not a good thing to do. Our last closing scene of this episode 5, Tragically Hip, is Carrie has decided to go to physical therapy and the lights get turned on for her.
Oh, because there's a hottie there.
Yeah, which I find I need
to go to physical therapy too.
That the lights go on for her so quickly after Big has passed.
But it's been a few months, I think. Like this, it's not like it's been like 2 weeks. It's been, this show clips along.
I don't know. I would not be having the lights turn on for like at least a year. Like I'd be like, oh. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't you, you were the one saying at the beginning of this, Lane, like, I don't know that her and Big really loved each other. She should be more sad. She should be more this. Right. Maybe that's that.
Maybe that's just the way it is. I'm more emotional. Maybe, I guess I'm, Cancer.
Sentimental. Are you sentimental?
Yeah, I am. So I guess for Carrie, it makes sense then. She's like, yes, I want that therapist again. I'll pay out of pocket.
Well, she just might want somebody to look at, but not necessarily date. Like,
correct. Because we do find in the next scene, in the next episodes, that she's like, yeah, that's true. And just like that,
we're through another episode, which is great. We've only got a couple more to go, and this season is almost up, and then we're going to have a new show to talk about. So if you're listening and you want to weigh in on what we should watch next, just remember, we're looking for shows that have addiction or recovery or mental illness. It's a very big, broad space, but we're looking for that to be part of the main storyline in order for us to review a show or a movie.
Very good.
And you can reach us at themindfulbinge.com.
Yep, that's where we're at. All right, Alysse.
All right, Lane. I will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.